Good morning. I'm joined today by Jay Miller of the WindSurge in Wichita for On the Bright Side, who is being very video shy this morning. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to first of all show you something, Jay, that's going to make you laugh because you're actually watching, right?
Yeah.
So I've been starting off a lot of these conversations by showing something funny or hilarious going on in the news. And since we're talking about sports, can you see that?
Yeah, the guy running in the back.
Yeah, he ran 7,000 times back and forth in his backyard to raise money for an organization helping during the pandemic. He raised 18,000 pounds. He's a marathon runner.
Wow.
7,000 times he ran in his backyard back and forth. He's in a very small yard.
Well, he had to wear a hole in the yard.
I would say he would have had to. If he was running in a circle, I would think he would get dizzy.
Exactly.
But I find that really extraordinary that in this kind of lockdown thing, people are finding ways to still remain active, right?
Exactly.
I'm going to have this video of the stadium running in the background. So I had some different questions to ask you that I've been asking other people because I know everyone's going to be curious about this athletic hiatus that we're on. I mean, a lot of us are in withdrawal over March Madness, and spring season baseball kickoff is also hurting a lot of us. I mean, you've been in baseball for how many years now?
This is year 39.
39.
39 or 40, one of the two.
So how weird does it feel to not be spring training kicking off? I mean,
well, it's real weird because last year I didn't have spring training or a season as well because we were building the stadium.
Right.
Well, this is kind of 2 years in a row, which is really, really odd. This time of year, I'm used to watching a lot of baseball games.
A lot of baseball games. Oh, it's starting to kick out another video. So here's what I wanted to ask you. What is something in particular as sports fanatics? You know, I even had a friend say to me the other day, like, there's not even very much to watch on ESPN, right? Because there's nothing going on. How can I watch SportsCenter?
You know, the other day I watched a double header. It was Roger Clemens' 20th strikeout game, and then I followed that up with Kerry Wood with the Cubs' 20th strikeout game. So I remember watching those games way back, so it brought back great memories. But you know, I'd much rather watch something live.
Right, that's exactly right. So, so that's how you're kind of feeding your athletic hole is watching the old games they're posting on ESPN.
Yeah, and then every day I go over there sometime during the day and kind of walk through the stadium, and pretty much everything is done now, with the exception of they're finishing up the landscaping and we're getting some signs put up. But other than that, everything is pretty much done. We're ready to play baseball.
Ready to play baseball. So, what about keeping the athletes conditioned? What's going on with that? How is that working right now in baseball?
I talked to my manager yesterday. He was out walking his dog, and like me, he was bored, so he gave me a call. And he's keeping in touch with the guys. They're all home right now, just like the big league players are all home. But they know that they could get a phone call at any time and have to go back to spring training. So they're staying in shape and they're working out. They're professionals. They know what they got to do.
So is that something that you would recommend? You know, there's a lot of parents whose kids are not in spring sports, or the club season is just delayed. You would just tell them to keep doing whatever they can athletically.
Yeah, and it's such a great opportunity for a husband and a wife, with their kids having all this time on their hands right now and being home. It's a great time to get out with them and do stuff with them. And I remember pitching balls to my son. The rule was he had to ask me, and then I would never tell him no. And there was one day that told him no because I had to get back to the ballpark. And driving back to the ballpark, I heard the song "Cats in the Cradle." You know that?
Right?
And I just started bawling. And I turned back around and I pitched him balls for about an hour. He was about
Oh,
4 years old then, and he ended up signing and playing with Boston and played in the minor leagues for a couple 4 years. Didn't get to the big leagues, but he got his chance. But I still remember those days pitching him balls when he started about as a 3-year-old. So this is a great opportunity for parents to get to know their kids better and to spend time with them. And those times, those kids will not forget.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That is fantastic advice. And my heart is warmed by all the family bike rides I see out on the sidewalks in the neighborhoods. And there is a lot more of that outside togetherness, I think, happening,
Hmm.
which is really encouraging, versus just hold up in front of the TV or video games or whatever.
Yeah, and this is just me, and everybody's different, but I think that you can get so caught up in watching this virus that it starts to affect you mentally. I mean, found myself watching it so much early on that I started, man, maybe I got a little bit of a fever, or maybe I've got, and I refuse to let that thing consume my day. You pray about it and you move on.
No, I love hearing that too. That's exactly why I felt very, very encouraged in my spirit to do this kind of series where we're focusing on something else and we're changing
Yeah,
the
I agree.
conversation, because our mental health is really important and emotional health. And we need to really, be careful of spirit of fear that's raging.
Yeah, and I think you watch these talk shows now, they're starting to plant ideas in people's heads like, if you're feeling this way, if you're feeling depressed this way, you're having this and anxiety. And I don't know, it's just me, but I think a lot of times, a lot of that, you're just planting seeds when you talk like that. So let it
No,
go and move on and think of what's positive in the world.
that's exactly right. And the phrase I keep saying is let's focus on what we have versus what we don't have. And,
Right.
and there is good coming. We're not sure what the next season's going to look like, but it's coming. Every season comes to an end, and new good arrives. So tell me, best case scenario baseball. What do you see happening in the next couple months?
I was saying all along when people were projecting this and that, I was saying we're only in March right now. And, today we're only in April. I mean, it's April 3rd or 4th or whatever it is, but
Right.
um, there's still, I mean, the scientists in this world are geniuses. They're brilliant. And
Mhm.
scientists from all over the world are trying to figure this thing out. And it seems like little by little they're coming up. Like yesterday, they talked about 200 people that have been cured from the
Mhm.
virus. I tend to like to focus on that rather
Yes.
than the people that have died. So I just feel like there's so many brilliant people in the world, and if people are doing the social, distancing to try to help this out, I just feel like I've been saying it all along. I think we'll be playing ball June 1st, and that's nothing other than what I personally think will happen.
I love
So,
it. I love
yeah.
it. And like you said to me before when we were talking privately that what you follow in AAA is the schedule of the minor leagues. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
So
Correct.
when those decisions are made, that's exactly we'll know when we know, right?
Right. And we're going to certainly take our lead from Major League Baseball um, when they're getting ready to play and up and playing. I'm sure that we'll follow suit along with them.
Yeah, the boys will just have a little bit warmer season, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, I don't know, but that's one of the things I heard a couple of weeks ago, that this virus doesn't like heat. So heat up. Let's go. Let's get in the
Let's
80s.
go. Let's get outside and sit in a warm day and watch some baseball. I'm ready.
Exactly.
I'm ready. I have a picture of the one of the last aerials that you guys posted on Instagram of the field. We had just talked about, I think, was it the week before we talked about I was going to get to come have another tour. I hadn't been down since the field
Oh yeah.
got put in, and then we both got really busy or something happened that week. Of course, you've been swamped. And so now, you know, I'm quarantined from seeing progress. I can't wait to see the field.
Yeah, and they've shut us off from giving tours now because of the circumstances. But like I say, soon enough, I think hopefully we're playing in there. But it's beautiful and it turned out great. And to accomplish what they accomplished in less than a year's time, it's just a shame we can't be utilizing it right now.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's coming. I feel the momentum of the exit, right?
Exactly.
So I appreciate you joining me today. It's always good to, even though I didn't get to see you, I get to hear you. Oh, I was going to pull up a picture of us.
Yeah.
There we are.
Beauty and the Beast.
That was at the name party.
Okay. Okay.
Down at the wake.
You look great. I don't look so good, but you look good.
Stop it.
People now understand why I didn't do a video.
Stop. I will tell a funny story about how when we met, that you were speaking at a Weeba luncheon, and I came and harassed you afterward for being a Cubs fan.
Right.
Because I grew up a Cardinal fan. That might classify both of us and people might write us off forever, but my grandfather was a huge Cub fan, and so I grew up watching the Cubs on a black and white TV in Chicago, so I can harass you with respect. So we've been friends ever since, and I really appreciate you as a person. I love what you're doing for Wichita with baseball. Oh, you have to tell me the one last question that I've asked everyone is, what's your silver lining? What's on the bright side for you in all of this?
You know, it's I guess the silver lining for me is just see how people are stepping up and taking care of other people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just makes your heart feel good. I mean, I'm looking at all the things online where, you know, people that are in the service industry right now, they can't make any money, and they're coming up with $500 grants for these people, and it does your heart good. And I try to do 3 nice things every day. It might be buying somebody's coffee who's behind me at Starbucks. It might be taking care of someone's groceries in front of me. I try to do 3 nice things every day. The other day I was driving back from Texas, and I gave the guy taking the money there an extra $5, and I just said, you know, buy a hamburger. I'm sorry you got to work tonight, you know. But again, I think if all of us kind of focused on other people rather than ourselves,
Right.
I think this would just be a better place to live. And I think that I'm seeing that a lot, how people are focusing on, well, we don't have it so bad. Let's help this person, you know, and that's my silver lining.
I think that's wonderful. I completely appreciate you joining me today, Jay. That's one of the reasons why I love being around you as a person. It's that positivity and that outlook that has made you a successful person in baseball and in life, with friends and great people surrounding you. So I find it an honor that I get to call you friend. So thank you.
Well, likewise, Janice, and you're that person as well. You got a good heart. You got a good heart and a good spirit.
Oh, thank you. Now we're having a cheese fest. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining me today with Jay Miller of the Wichita WindSurge. Have a happy Friday, everyone, and a great weekend. Thank you for joining me on the bright side.